Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do a reading wrap up of what month? April, but I'm gonna add my books of March as well because I usually do a wrap up every 2 months. So this is gonna be my March and April wrap up. Let me grab the books, they're right there. These are my physical books, and then I have 3 or 4 that are on my Kindle. If you've seen my last wrap up, you knew that I hadn't found yet a 5-star read. I was mid-March and still no 5-star read. I have 3. There's 3 5-star books in this pile. 3 of these are 5 stars. I'm so excited to talk to you about them because I had a great 2 months of reading. We'll start straight away with one of my 5-star reads, my first 5-star read of the year. You know it, I know it, everyone has read it. It's Sunrise on the Reaping by Susan Collins. I'm quite warm again. It always happens that I'm filming here and it's so warm in here. Much better. It's the prequel to Hunger Games. It was incredible, it was sad. It talked about Haymitch's games. So Haymitch, if you haven't read the Hunger Games, what the fuck? If you haven't seen the Hunger Games, what the fuck? Go and do that. The Hunger Games it's like a dystopic world where every year a female and a male tribute get chosen to play these horrible games where only one person survives. And these games are about the mentor of Katniss and Peeta, the main characters of the original trilogy, and this is about their mentor, the games of their mentor. There were so many links to the Hunger Games. There were so many things that and I loved it so much. I'm not gonna lie, I loved every second of this. I cried at the end. I think this was genius writing. There were so many links to the original trilogy and to Songbirds and Snakes. It's genius, incredible. Susan Collins never disappoints. And then guys, I read Heavenly Bodies by Imani Aru. This is quite a popular book on Book Talk right now and in the last couple of months. It came out in November 2024, traditionally published, but it was indie published before. I had high expectations for this because everyone said best romantasy book that I've read in so long. It's an enemies to lovers romantasy book. It's pretty slow burn, which is nice. I gave this 3.5 stars, I believe. It was okay, it was nice. It was just extremely long. I don't mind reading a long book, but I think that was no need for it to be this long, I think, in my opinion. A lot of things I think could have been cut. I like the main couple, but I'm not oh, I love them so much. So this talks about Elara and Lorenzo. Elara is a princess, and she's actually gonna be a queen because her parents got killed. This is a world ruled by the stars, and they're very mean and horrible and powerful. And one of the main stars, Ariete, is against her. So that's what happens. She has to train to be able to defeat Ariete. And who's gonna train her? Lorenzo, which is the prince of an enemy kingdom. They're gonna ally for the time being just for her to train and kill this star. There's a lot happening. It ends on a crazy cliffhanger, to be fair. I enjoyed the story. I think it was a bit too long, and I didn't love the main couple. And that's what it does it for me. I didn't love the main couple, but I enjoyed it. It was very nice. Some people love it. Some people give this 5 stars, 6 stars. Maybe it's me, do you know? But I did not like it. I still gave it 3.5 stars. I think it was okay, but I don't think it was my favorite romantasy book I've ever read. My second 5-star book of the year was Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I did a reading blog of this, so I'll put it there somewhere if you want to go and have a look. It was great. I loved it so much. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. It's a very popular book series right now, so you probably heard of it. But I actually read it 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, so a while ago, a long time ago, when it wasn't really that popular. And at the time, only the first 2 books were out. Only Binding 13 and Keeping 13 were out. So at the time, I didn't read Saving Six because it didn't exist. And then I just never kept up with the series as they were coming out. I was not reading them because I remembered how much I suffered and how much I cried and sobbed reading the first 2. So I was I can't do that right now. And then I never read them. And now there's 3 more out because now there's 5 out. And there's gonna be a 6th in May. So I was oh, I need to get my shit together and read them again. So I picked up Saving Six, and I'm so happy I'm back in this universe. I am so happy. I loved it so much. This is 640 pages, kinda. When I tell you I read this in 2 days, 2.5 days, you don't understand how I read in one day. I read 350 pages. I was loving it. I loved it so much. I was like obsessed. I couldn't stop reading. So this series, it's kind of like advertised as a football romance, rugby romance. I think they're football, as a sport romance series, but it's way heavier and there's so much more to it. So check your trigger warnings if you want to read it, because there's a lot of domestic violence, there's a lot of drug use, there's eating disorder, there's a lot going on. So check your trigger warnings if you want to read it. Definitely recommend. I loved it so much. I preferred this to the first 2 books as well. I think this is like more mature, because the first 2 books felt a little bit more YA, and I didn't know that we would go back in time, and I love that so much. We went back to when Joey was 12, so like a little child. See the struggle of having a horrible father, of horrible parents in general. He kind of had to step up and be a parent himself at the age of literally 12. And then there's addiction, and then there's a love story. It's a very slow burn, enemies to friends to lovers, and it's great. I loved it so much. It was incredible. I am terrified of starting Redeeming 6. I plan on reading it this month. Scared. It's in my May TBR, so I'm gonna read it this month. It's almost 1,000 pages, the next book, which is terrifying. I cried a little bit in this one, but not as much as I cried on Keeping 13. Odd one. This as well was in my reading blog. This is Julie Chaney's Dead. This is the arc, that's why it looks a bit different. It's coming out soon, the 1st of May, so maybe by the time you're watching this, this is out. This is like a thrillery, I don't even know how to describe this, about a girl having a twin sister, and she's estranged from her twin sister. And one day though, she goes and visit her, and she finds her dead on the floor. She's dead. Her twin sister, before she died, used to be a very successful, very famous influencer. She had a lot of money, a lot of followers, a lot of brand deals, and Julie is not an influencer. She just does a normal job. She barely makes it at the end of the month. So when she saw her twin sister dead, she panicked for a second. She decided, you know what, I'm gonna steal her identity. I'm gonna be her. So she decided to take her identity and pretend to be Chloe. And at first it was fun. It was like, oh yeah, this girl, like how can she make it work? Because, you know, a lot of the people that she loves will know that that's not Chloe, and their followers are gonna find out. And then it got fucking weird. Every time someone asks me anything about this book, I say this gave me Riverdale vibes, because the first season of Riverdale was fun, and oh, there was a mystery, oh my god, you know, Cheryl twin, I don't even remember, but like it was fun, it was good. And then it got fucking weird. This got so weird. One scene I had to stop reading because it made me a bit disgusted. And now it makes sense, because I got this in a PR box, and in the PR box there was like a ring light for influencers. Makes sense because Chloe was an influencer. And then I got some sweets, and one of the sweets was like white chocolate mice. If you read this book, you will know what I mean with that. It was a crazy scene. It was a crazy book. It was like, I did not expect it. I was like, what the hell, the whole time. I kind of recommend to read it because I couldn't stop reading it. It's just not my genre of books. It's a bit of a weird book. But if you love a weird book and you don't mind a bit of like, what? This is quite fun. There's a little bit of like a mystery thing, like you need to know what actually happened to Chloe because she's dead. This young girl just was dead in her kitchen. What happened to her? And you find out. It was crazy. So I gave it 3 stars, but not because it wasn't a good book. It just was not what I expected or for me. Also, I didn't like the way influencers were portrayed in this, because they were literally portrayed in the worst way possible, in the most shallow and superficial way possible. And I know some influencers might be like that, but not all of them are like that. They were portrayed horribly. Like I've met a lot of influencers and most of them are absolutely normal people. And like one of them at one point owned a private island. Like I know they make money, but not that much. Julie Chaney's Dead, weird. My third 5-star read of the year was Lady at Midnight by Cassandra Clare. If you have seen any of my videos, I've probably mentioned Cassandra Clare. Like, I just talk about her so much, just as much as I talk about Taylor Swift probably. This is the 3rd series. So Cassandra Clare is like the writer of the Shadowhunters world, the universe, and she made different series in this universe, and they all kind of interconnect. So she made the Mortal Instruments, and then the Infernal Devices. I love it so much. And then the Dark Art Devices, and then there's the Chain of Gold, which I own, but obviously I haven't read yet. So this was the first book in the Dark Art Devices series that comes after the Infernal Devices. The Infernal Devices was one of my favorite series I've ever read, and I think about them every day. The epilogue to Clockwork Princess haunts me every day. I was excited to start this, and when I tell you, I loved the plot, I loved the main character, I loved the main couple, I loved them so much. I loved the other couples too, like there's other couples. The male main character reminded me a lot of Joey from The Boys of Tommen, because he as well doesn't have parents. I mean, Joey has parents that are just awful, but his parents are dead, and he has to take care of 4 younger siblings, and he's literally a dad for them. So he really reminded me of Joey a little bit. So good, incredible, so many plot twists. A plot twist I didn't see coming, because I'm quite good at predicting plot twists, unfortunately, which ruins a lot of books for me, because I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. Did not see that coming, and it was incredible. Also, the fact that in this book there were characters from The Mortal Instruments that I read when I was a teenager. I was literally like 13, 14 in middle school. I read them like 10 years ago. And then there was books from The Infernal Devices that I read last year. And I love these characters so much in this world. Like everyone was in this. I loved that so much. It made it even better, because I was like, I would just tear up. In this universe, Parabatais are like your platonic soulmate, someone that will fight with you, protect you, and like someone that you bonded for life. And it's not the Shadowhunters, but you are not allowed to be romantically involved with your Parabatai. Is against the law, and you get like horrible punishments if you do. The 2 main characters here are Parabatai and in love, and I can't wait to read the second book. And Cassandra Clare does friendships like no one else. She writes friendships so well, and this one was one of my favorite friendships I've ever read about. Next, I have Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I enjoyed this book quite a lot. And I think the writing was very easy, very simple, very short, quick. You can read this in literally like 2 days. Such a quick thriller. I predicted the main plot twist, and it's a huge plot twist. If you don't see that coming, this book would slap. This book would be incredible. I unfortunately did see that coming. So it kind of ruined it a little bit for me, because I was like, the whole time I was like, there was one little plot twist that I didn't see coming, but the main big one I did. I'm definitely gonna read more of her books. Trisha and Ethan have just got married. They're a cute new couple, and they are looking for a house. They went to visit this beautiful, huge house. There was a storm going on outside, a blizzard, I believe. They go in to look at the house and have a look, and they get stuck in the house because they can't leave because the blizzard is too bad. So they get stuck in the house for a couple of days, and this house, turns out, it was owned before by this psychiatrist. She was quite successful and famous, and she just disappeared one day out of nowhere. So now the house is on sale because it's been years. They go look around, and Trisha finds all these recordings of like the sessions of the psychiatrist that lived in this house before with her patients, and she starts listening to them. And so slowly we find out what happened to Dr. Hale, because she disappeared out of nowhere. The plot twist is great. If you don't see that coming, it's great. My mom didn't. My mom read it, she was like, ah! So like she loved it because she didn't see that coming. One of my best friends didn't see that coming. She really enjoyed it. I think it's very easy and quick to read. I think this would be great for like if you're in a reading slump. Do you know what I mean? This would slap. And then I read the 3 next books in the Leica series. I've talked about them so much. You're so tired of me talking about them, but I'm almost done, so I won't talk about them anymore. Okay, so the 3 books are Infamous Like Us, Misfits Like Us, and Unlucky Like Us. And there's only 1 book left on the whole series, so they were number 10, 11, and 12 out of 13. I can't really talk to you about them because there's obviously 10 books before that, so I don't want to spoil or anything. This is a spin-off of the Addicted / Calloway Sister series, which you may know because it's quite popular. The Addicted series is about like 6 very famous Nepo babies, and these are the Nepo babies of the Nepo babies. So these are billionaires 20-something-year-olds, and some of them end up having romantic relationships with their bodyguards. So these are bodyguards romances, billionaires. I didn't love Infamous Like Us. It was okay. I just don't love Sully's books that much. Unfortunately, they're probably my least favorite of the whole series. I gave Infamous Like Us 3 stars, but I gave it 3 stars only because it was in this universe. If I got that book out of the universe, it would have been a 2-star. But because there were so many other characters that I loved so much, that it made me enjoy the book more. And then Misfit Like Us, I gave 4 stars. I enjoyed that. and Lauryn Hill was so present in that book. It carried the book. I gave it 4 stars just because of Lauryn Hill, and then the next one I gave 3.5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. It just got so dramatic out of nowhere, but it was okay. I only have one left now. The last book is called Nobody Like Us. I will read that at one point because there's like another spin-off from this coming out in September, so that's why I want to be done. But I'll definitely be done by September. I only have one book left, and they're very quick books. They're not the best written books, but they just in a universe that bring me so much comfort and love, and all these characters from the Dicta series I love so much that every time they pop up I'm like, my Shayla, you know. I'm reading another one right now, and I'm recording this quite early on. I still have a good week in April, so I'm probably gonna be done at least another book, but I'll talk about that in the next wrap up. These are all the books I read in the last month and a half. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps so much. I love you, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.